Want to set up a savings account for your kids but don't know your ISA from your elbow? Well, here's a quick guide to get you started on that savings account search. And first things first, I am not a financial advisor, I am just a mum. And you should always speak to an independent financial advisor before making financial decisions. Let's start here on the little climbing frame. I'm not going to reach any great heights here, but equally, I don't have far to fall if things go wrong. So if you're reluctant to take much of a risk with your children's savings, you want to stick to accounts that have words like deposit and cash in them. If you've heard mention of child trust funds or NS&I children's bonds, they're no longer available to new applicants. Forget about them. The safest place to put your cash is in cash. Money held in cash is safe in all but the very extreme circumstances of banks failing and that kind of thing. Cash accounts are also known as deposit, current or savings accounts. Now, these accounts often pay a very low level of interest. One way to get around this is to lock your money away for a length of time, say 5, 10 years, something like that, in a fixed term or notice account, and that can sometimes give you a better rate. Another option is that providers will often give you a good interest rate for the first year of the investment. So, if you are so inclined and if you feel disciplined enough, you can move your money to a different provider every year to keep taking advantage of those introductory rates. Another option to consider is a junior cash ISA. Now, the benefit of an ISA is that money grows tax-free, whereas interest earned on a savings account is taxable. There is a limit on how much you can pay in. The current limit is £4,260 a year. The money that goes in is locked away until the child is 18, when it converts into a regular ISA and keeps that tax-free benefit. So this group of product has the lowest level of risk, but it also offers the lowest potential for growth. So if you think about what you're saving for, are you saving for university fees for your child? That's what, 18 years away? Are you saving for a house deposit, maybe 20, 25 years away? And with such a long-term investment, you might feel comfortable taking a little bit more risk on the assumption that dips in the market will even out over the long run. If that sounds like you, then you might want to get on the bigger climbing frame. As you can see, my potential for reward is higher, but equally, I now have a bit further to fall. Now, you might feel that although I could have a few bruises and scrapes from falls, over the years these would be forgotten and the benefits of higher possible returns outweigh any negative periods. On the other hand, disaster could strike and you could end up with less money than you put in. If this medium risk group is where you find yourself, then you want to look for accounts that have words like mixed asset, managed funds, stocks and shares, investment bonds, and unit trusts. All of the above products come with varying levels of risk, and the key thing that you want to look out for is mention of diversification, because a product might hold some risky shares which offer good potential for growth, but also hold some funds in cash which lowers the overall risk. A managed fund means somebody's keeping an eye on the fund choices and updating them as markets change, which is great, but a service like that comes with charges which need to be taken into account, and this level of complexity is where a financial advisor comes in really handy. By the way, I'm still not a financial advisor, just a mum. I mentioned cash ISAs earlier. At this medium level of risk, you can also consider a junior stocks and shares ISA, which offers the same tax-free benefit plus an exemption from capital gains. The same investment limit applies. You can only currently do £4,260 every tax year. The last group on our list are the most accepting of risk. You are willing to get on the high ropes course. There is no way I would be allowed near one of those high ropes courses without a safety briefing from a qualified person. Do not invest in a high-risk product without getting proper financial advice. Have I mentioned I'm not a financial advisor? This group of products gives you the highest potential for growth, but also carries the highest risk of getting hurt by a fall. Now, as we've said, with children's savings, generally they're going to be held for a long period of time and so can tolerate a higher level of risk, but you have to be aware that you could get back less than you paid in. If this is where you find yourself, then you can look at the same group of products as a medium risk investor, but with a riskier balance to your portfolio, so more shares, less cash, for example. If you see words like unregulated, emerging markets, venture, entrepreneurial, you know you are looking at a high risk product and do not go near it without proper financial advice. The other thing you would need to go on one of these courses is a safety harness. Now there is a financial version of this called the Financial Compensation Scheme. It applies to all regulated investments and offers you a level of protection if the company you've invested in goes under. Now, as I may have mentioned once or twice, it's a good idea to get proper advice from a qualified, independent financial advisor or a chartered financial planner before making financial decisions, particularly if you're taking a medium or a high-risk approach. If you don't have a financial advisor, the first thing I would say you should do is ask around your friends and family, see if somebody can give you a personal recommendation. Failing that, go online, you can look at the Money Advice Service. They have a list of reputable financial advisors in your area, or you can use a recommendation website like Unbiased. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, please subscribe to see more, and I will see you very soon. Bye.